What's good? It's your Jason, Air Sister Joey, and don't mind the blue in my hand. That is from the hair dye on this wig here, part of my Sona. So today we're gonna be talking about my dreams, my crazy fucking dreams. Alright, so I'm gonna look at the list real quick and see what the first one is. Also, I apologize for the eye positioning. My mom says it looks good, but I don't think it does. I think it's kind of looking to one side a little bit, if you get what I'm saying. But that's my first ever dino mask anyway, so fucking whatever. Alright, so this dream right here is, we're gonna start off hot, okay? We're gonna start off pretty good. So this one, we're just gonna get straight into it. No like, subscribe, no nothing. I don't care. So we're just gonna get straight into it. No intro needed. Alright, cool. Alright, so I was in the dream. I forgot what happened earlier on, but I know there were other parts of the dream that I've forgotten about. Let's talk about the way I see my dreams real quick. The way my dreams feel, it feels very lifelike. Like, it feels like realistic surroundings in real life, but just altered versions of real places that I've been to. So, like, take my house for example. Maybe there's an extra room, or maybe the rooms are differently positioned or something like that, and maybe it feels a little odd. But it still feels realistic enough where I can vividly feel like I'm in the dream, and it is really convincing that it's really happening, you know what I mean? Like, right now. Like, I don't know, maybe like, it's so convincing that maybe this video I'm making right now is a dream, you know? It feels like that. So anyways, I knew where I was in the dream, but it looked nothing like it at all. And, I was at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Sorry. And I was, with my, brother Blake. Well, stepbrother. Yeah, I think. Something like that. And, we were, at Busch Gardens. And I remember we were in the France area. And, I somehow knew where we were, even though the place was very unfamiliar to me in the real world, and I had no idea where the fuck where we were. And I see this, like, you know how at theme parks they had those gated off areas that are along, like, the boundary wall fences and stuff, where employees go to. It's like an employees only type area. Me and him snuck in one of those, and immediately on the other side of this giant gate, when we opened it, was this, like, fucking Maze Runner-esque looking, like, set of pillars. Like, it was, like, we were in the Maze Runner, set or whatever, in the actual maze. And, there was water below us. There was water below us. And, the sky was all overcast, cloudy. There were a bunch of concrete pillars everywhere and all that. So, Blake, started parkouring. He grabbed onto the thingies, the walls and stuff, and he just, like, parkoured across, like, the area to the other side. Like, he did that, like, wall jump parkour thing, and then he landed on the other side on a platform in the far distance. And the water was shallow, by the way. It was probably, like, no more than a foot deep. So then I tried it, but then I immediately failed, and... No! My bad. So, hold on. Yeah, so we were, so I landed in the shallow water, thump! I just landed in this tiny, like, little, like, piece of water that was only, like, I don't know, maybe half a foot deep. And, I start, like, walking in the shallow water, and then I see, Blake on the other side, and then it takes me, like, a full minute to get over there. And then I get on this, like, platform. Like, when I look up and see him standing there, he's on this, like, concrete platform that's above, like, the end of the little channel of water, right? The little stream that you can stand up in. And, like, picture, like, the maze from Maze Runner, but, like, there's water flooded the whole maze up to your knees. And, so I was looking up at the platform he was standing on, right? And then I looked down to get up, and when I look up again, the environment changes. And I suspect nothing of it, and I don't care. So, it looked now like I was inside of a building facility, like an escape room type of place. So the ground was like a carpet. It was like the type of carpet. Have you ever been to like a trampoline park or like a indoor activity facility? And there's that like indoor like laser maze type of Mission Impossible type of thing. Like you put in like a few dollars and then you walk in, you clap your hands, and like there's like a bunch of green lasers everywhere with the Mission Impossible theme going like do you know what those are? That's pretty much what it looked like. Like there were like green lights on the ceiling. They were beaming down on the black carpet, like the black facility carpet, and the walls were like metal. It's kind of hard to describe it without showing you a picture of it. I'll try and show you some art I've done of some of these dreams whenever I can, but I have terrible art skills, at least with buildings and stuff like that, at least. I'm decent at drawing characters, but not the best at drawing environments. So anyways, I'm going to try and describe each location as best as possible, because I feel like that's the most important part about the dreams, and that's what I'm talking about in the first place, because it's the unique aesthetic of it, right? So, okay, so imagine like the black carpet you see in those like laser maze things, and the ceiling, it was like what the ceiling of a warehouse looks like, but it's like black instead of white. So like picture like your Walmart and stare at the ceiling. Imagine what the ceiling of a Walmart looks like the warehouse looking like beams and stuff, but it's black instead. It's like a black warehouse, not a white warehouse. Oh god, that sounded wrong. Okay, whatever. So, then there's these, walls. They're like, I think they're just straight up metal. Like the same type of metal as, like, elevator doors are. The same smoothness, the same everything. And, it's pretty dark. It's pretty dark in there. And there's only, like, a few, a couple small green spotlights hanging from the rafters of the warehouse-looking ceiling, beaming down onto the scene. And, I'm just making sure I'm looking at the camera. Yes, I am. You can see my actual eyeball. That probably looks creepy in editing. So, then, here's the most unique part about this dream. There's these doors. There's so when I get out from the water, I get onto this platform, and, there's a door on my right, and on my left. The door on my left was like, I don't exactly remember what shape it was, but I like to think it was like rectangular, like a normal door, but flipped sideways, and it slides open like this. Kind of like the vents from Sister Location. Wait, no, they open like this. Well, you get what I'm saying. But there was this, like, traffic light looking thing on the side of the doors, like, right next to them, like a control panel. Like, imagine, like, the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 office doors. They have the two buttons that have, like, the light and the door buttons. But only imagine that next to these doors, but circular, and the light button is green instead of white. That's basically what it was. And it was an indicator to let you know when the door was closed or open. So at the moment, the door was closed, and the light was red. On the bottom circle here, the light was red. The horizontal rectangular door was right here. And I was standing here, me and Blake here. The room where we came from. And this wall right here had the door. It was like that, and it opens like this. And the lights, it switched from red to green as the door slowly opened. It was like an elevator type of door too, like the material of it was an elevator door, same as the walls. Like it was the same as the walls, and it slowly opened like this, and it revealed someone in a very convincing zombie costume, and he just started chasing us. Or whatever. Right? And me and Blake, we see the other door on the opposite side of the room. So I go to this door, I bang on this door, and this door shape is interesting. So like the shape of this door, in my perspective, when I was running up to the door, like the door that just opened, it's right behind me, right? About like maybe like 10, 15 feet behind me. I'm at the door, I'm banging. And the shape of the door, in my perspective, with the zombie and Blake behind me, it was like this. A weird fucking trapezoid shape. Like it starts out like this. It has this kind of framework, but around here it does this, which is pretty fucking weird and sci-fi-ish. You know what I mean? So in your perspective, the door would look like this or something. And there was like the light system on the left side of it. I'm talking about my perspective of it. That's why I mapped it out like this earlier, because I'm showing it in my perspective. Like, door here, blah, blah, you get it. Or you don't, I don't care. So, the light is red. I'm keep banging on the door. It turns green, and I see, the door from... Wait, no, in my perspective, it was actually like this. And in your perspective, on the other side of the door where I am, it would look like this. My bad. It's flipped. So it opened from the angled side, and it slid open as the light turned green over here. And it revealed another room that looked identical to this dimly lit green room right here. So I run in, and I see this guy who was in another zombie costume, and he was holding like a prop, like, Morning Star mace thing. It was like a ball chain, a medieval ball chain, and he was swinging it like this. He had like he looked like Scarecrow from Batman a little bit, to be honest. That's the best way I can describe him. From like the comics and stuff, not really the movies. I tried to juke him, but it fails as I try and do this. And I try and run past them, but then the prop weapon hits me on the back, and then the lights... No, the lights don't affect any... The lights don't change. They stay green, but the rooms are dimly lit. The whole environment, it feels like you're inside of a facility. Like, it feels like it's silent. It's silent, but it feels like you're also in the heart of, like, a giant complex or something like that, and you can't hear anything else outside that room, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's the same vibe you get when you're going in those, like, laser maze rooms you see at some places. They're, like, trampoline parks and all that. So he gets me, and then I noticed that there's like a siren buzzer that goes like, and then that kind of like signals that this was all a game all along. Like this was an interactive haunted house type thing / escape room, and I failed and I died, even though I didn't really die, because you know, yeah, it's a theme park. And then I think I woke up right after that. So, yeah. Alright, next dream. Okay, so I had a long running list of other dreams I wanted to talk about, but I realized this video would get a little long if I talked about every single one on the list, so I'm only gonna talk about, like, maybe, like, 3 more, and then I'll call the video quits, because, if I kept it going, then there would be, like, 7 or 8 dreams, and then now it'll be, like, this would be, like, an hour-long video, you know, where I, like, what, I'm gonna guess, like, maybe, like, 12, 15 minutes in at this point, and I'm only on the first stream, maybe 10 minutes, I don't fucking know. So the next stream is pretty interesting. It happened... Okay, so the last stream I talked about, I'm not quite exactly sure when it happened, but I know it was somewhere between the year 2021 and 2023 for the last stream I had. And for this stream I'm going to talk about, I know the exact date. It was, okay, so, before I fell asleep, I was pretty excited for the 9th year of FNAF, of its existence, the 9th anniversary. So it was, becoming August 7th. So on the night of August 6th, I fell asleep and it was going to become August 7th the next day. While that was happening, I had a dream about FNAF, which, for some reason, is very rare, and I don't know why, because I love FNAF. Like, this is only, like, the 3rd dream I ever had about FNAF, and, the other 2 were just not really good enough to talk about for the video, you know what I mean? I mean, like, the last FNAF dream I had barely had FNAF in it, and most of it was just me walking around some abandoned city the whole time that gives, like, Richmond vibes or whatever. And then there was, like, a part in it where like, Nightmare Fredbear was suddenly running towards me, and I just stood there, and I was like, sup? And then he faded into ash like an Endgame, or Infinity War, sorry, and then that was the dream. That's pretty much as good as the previous FNAF dream I had went, and it's not that interesting, right? That's like twice as interesting as the first FNAF dream I ever had, which I don't even remember that much, and I don't remember that much FNAF in it. I only remember being in the FNAF 2 location a little bit, and that's about it. Anyways, on with the dream. So, me and a good friend of mine at school, Caleb, were at this, like, mall. I go to school with him in real life. He's a pretty chill person. Well, they're a pretty chill person, sorry. Yeah, so we go to this, like, mall. It's, like, the middle of the night, and, we stop by this, like, McDonald's that's, like, inside the mall, right? We see this massive jungle gym, like, with, like, tubes and all that junkies that kids can, like, roam around in. So we're sitting there, we're eating our McDonald's burgers. I have my usual, my custom order. Mom, Dad, you already know what the fuck it is. I'm not gonna say it because it's a classified information thing that's only an inside joke for us people here. There's fries in here, like the deer that got hit on the road last week. So then, me and Caleb are eating at the table, right? We turn around, and there's this ball pit. There's this massive fucking ball pit. It's like the size of, like, a pool, but 3 times as massive, and there's a bunch of colorful balls in it and all that. Hell knows how deep it was. I just choked on my wig hair. Fuck. Ah! Fucking dyke. Fuck. So, me and Caleb, we, stand, like, at the edge of the ball pit, and on the other side of the ball pit, horizontally, we're on, like, the left side of the ball pit. It's like, shaped like this. We're on this side. We're, like, standing here. McDonald's is over here behind us. Over here was a massive poster of the FNAF movie, and we saw Jason Blum and Emma Tammy, like, talking about the movie with, like, a whole, like, pedestal and everything, and, like, a presidential debate mic and all that, and they were, talking about how good the movie is, how it's coming along, and then they said they got a special surprise for, anyone that jumps in the ball pit. So, me and Caleb, we jump in the ball pit. Most of the lights suddenly cut out, apart from a few little lights in the distance that they forgot to shut off. I was excited and nervous at the same time, and I look out from my surrounding areas, and I see that everyone is gone apart from me, Caleb, and maybe like 5 or 6 others that jumped in the ball pit with us, and we're all scattered in random locations of this massive, colorful Chuck E. Cheese looking ball pit. Like I said, it's like 3 or 4 times the size of your average pool. So we're sitting there, very intrigued about what's going to happen. Most of the lights of the entire fucking mall building are out, apart from a few little lights hanging in the distance, like in the kitchen of the McDonald's way over there. Like, it's a very distant light that doesn't even illuminate over here. We just see it in the distance. And it's not pitch black, but it's like the kind of dark it gets when you're in your average closed building. Like, if you go to an abandoned building, like an abandoned, like, mall or Chuck E. Cheese, if you turn the light out, that's how dark it is in there. It's not pitch black. You can see a little bit, but not a lot. So what happened next? I noticed along, like, the left length side, so the posters here, there's some bit of ball pit over here, a lot of ball pit over here, and the McDonald's is behind us. And I see on, like, resting on the edge of the ball pit over there are, like, mascot costumes of the classic Chuck E. Cheese. And there's 3 clones of it just sitting there, and they're empty. There's no one in them. And that kind of got the gears working in my head. Oh shit, people are gonna be wearing mascot costumes in the ball pit, and they're gonna do something. So I was nervous but excited because I knew this was an experience and I wasn't actually going to get hurt. So I was just sitting there in the ball pit, and then I see it. Some guy in the distance, he gets pulled under the fucking ball pit. I see when he gets pulled under, I see like a ball or two like yoink out, like from like the contraction of him going under. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm not ready for this. So then I see one person getting pulled at a time after like each 30 seconds. Holy shit, I'm getting the chills just talking about this. It's like what the fuck was that? It was like I just heard whispering or something. Wait, no, that's what I heard just then. It's just so fucking... It feels like I'm there right now, you know what I mean? I need a wall behind me. I'm not going to be checking my back every 5 minutes. Hey, dear God, hope this footage doesn't catch anything suspicious behind me when I'm recording this. I'm actually scared now. I heard a whisper just now behind me. I'm not crazy. I just heard a whisper coming from back there. Okay, this wall back here in my room has always been suspicious. Like, I always felt like there's some demon or something like that in that wall. Okay? Every night I hear something in that wall. My headboard wall. I don't have a headboard on my bed. That's literally just what my headboard is, that wall. I feel like there's something odd about it. Okay, whatever. So then it was only me and Caleb left. Maybe like one other person or something like that. One other person gets yoinked under, and then it's just me and Caleb. Caleb gets yoinked under like 15 seconds later, and previous to him being yoinked under, I saw like a wave of ball pit like come to him before he got yoinked under, like a cartoon character under like a rug or something like that. You know how it's like just like a bump moving under like a carpet or like under dirt or something like that? That's exactly what it was for the ball pit. Like it was like, and so then it was probably my turn to get pulled under, and then so I look behind me, like, okay, so my body is now facing toward where those like mascot costumes are, like in the farther distance. I'm slightly I'm like in the middle of the ball pit, but I'm slightly closer to this side lengthwise than that side lengthwise. The McDonald's is over there, the poster is right there, and with the stand and all that, where the directors were like talking and all that earlier before they suddenly disappeared, Thanos-ashed or whatever. And then I hear very faint screaming, and I look behind me, and I'm trying to search for where it's coming from, and it grows louder and louder, 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 louder. It goes like, but it wasn't like that. It was like crying children, like, screaming out of terror or something like that. And it grew louder and louder and louder, and I look behind me, and I see the ball pit, like I see a wave of ball pit coming toward me at a pretty decently fast speed, maybe at like 5 miles an hour. And it was suspenseful as fuck. I was not ready for it. And then my ears are piercing with that child screaming, with the children screaming in the background. And then it gets to me, nothing happens, and then yoink! I go under. I feel the ball pits like surrounding me and all that. And then I look up, and then I see there's someone wearing a Chuck E. Cheese mascot costume, holding me by the shoulders, and I get sucked under the ball pit, and then it suddenly looked really cool, and I was like, okay, hold up, this isn't scary anymore, this actually looks really cool, and what I saw was really cool, because under the ball pit wasn't just more ball pit, it was a fucking new dimension. Like, what it looked like, like, as soon as you get yoinked under the balls, it looks like when you put, like, when you're in the FNAF Security Breach DLC, the ruined DLC from Security Breach, when you put on the Vanny mask, that's pretty much what it looks like. You're in this, like, cosmic, glitchy, purple void that's, like, something that would be in, like, glitch trap fan animations in SFM or something like that, in, like, FNAF music videos or whatever. That's what it looked like. I was being sucked under by someone in the Chuck E. Cheese mascot costume. And, then his body started to dismember piece by piece. And it turned out there was no one inside the costume. It was just the costume itself that pulled me under, which was spooky. And then the head went to me for a split second and like trying to check me out, and then it zoomed back out. And then the craziest shit happened. The scene of me under the ball pit, I was looking up like this, and it was like just like purple atmosphere, random objects flying around that were like FNAF oriented, and it looked really cool. You just had to be in my dream to believe it. They're checking behind me every second now. So, I'm looking up, I see the cool badass shit that's happening around me, random things flying, floating, just being chill, and then the objects that, like, make up the space I'm in right now, they form, like, in real life, I'm waking up, okay? Like, my eyes are opening. They're just opening. So, that mixed with, the random objects flying everywhere, the objects, do you know that, stick bug meme? You know, like, that stick bug meme, the get stick bug thing? Have you ever seen that meme where, they take the stick bug, like, get stick bug, the lol, and then they disassemble the parts of the stick bug, and then it makes Rick Astley, and then you get Rick rolled right after? That's basically what happened next. So the parts of the dream, like the setting of it, like the underworld ball pit dimension thing, the Afton dimension or whatever, like, the pieces formed together to shape what I was looking at in real life in my room. Like, when I slowly opened my eyes, the pieces were coming together, and it was like a perfect transition from my dream into reality again. Like, I was there on my bed. Hold on, I can probably show you right now. I can show you exactly what I saw. So I was literally, my controller. Oh no, it's my headphones. So I was literally like this, right? I was laying down. Fucking bitch! So I was laying down like this, right? Like, imagine my eyes are just waking up. Imagine yourself in, like, a cosmic void. Like, what I mean by that is, like, imagine what I described the underside of the ball pit looking like. It looks like, the ruined DLC when you put the Vanny mask on. The environment is, like, purple, glitchy, random objects flying everywhere, random purple blobs, animatronic parts just chilling everywhere, like, floating in space. And then you slowly open your eyes, and, like, the objects in your surroundings in the dream make up this. Like, parts of, like, let's say parts of some purple goo make up this piece, some parts of an endoskeleton make up this piece of the window, maybe a head squishes down to the size of this part of, the curtain reflection right here. maybe something like squished down to the size of that fan. It was cool, I'll say that. And then I was like, whoa, that was fucking cool. And then I woke up and went on with my day. Yeah, that was a crazy ass dream. That's probably one of the craziest dreams I ever had in my life. Alright. I'm gonna talk about one more. Excuse me. And then we'll talk about how some of my dreams actually work. And it was a fucking FNAF anniversary day too. The 9th one! That was fucking insane! That's what happened then, you know what I mean, bruv? Alright, so on to the next dream. You know what? I got time to talk about 2 more. This one, I'll make it quick. And then the next one, I'll go into a lot of detail about. So this dream, it was more of a nightmare. Not more or less. It was more of a nightmare than a dream, just slightly. So, basically in a nutshell, me, my dad, and his current girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, we were all in his truck before he sold it and got a car instead. And we were in this truck, and we were driving in this very dangerously designed overpass section of road. Well, it wasn't just one, it was many of them. You know those city overpasses that are hundreds of feet above the ground and they angle slightly at a turn and it looks pretty trippy to go over, it's something you'd only see out of a dream? That's what this was, but no guardrail! There's no guardrail whatsoever because my dreams do not care a shit about safety. You know what I'm saying? So here's how it went. So we were on those overpass things. We were thousands of feet above the ground. It was a massive city. It was a massive industrialized sci-fi city and all that. And then there was this fucking roundabout hundreds, thousands of feet above the ground. You couldn't even see the ground. It was just fog. And on these turns and everything, there was no guardrail. Okay, no guardrail whatsoever. So we were driving and we get on this roundabout. The way you get on it so there's it had 4 bridges that connected to it, and each one of them had a joint to connect to the roundabout. So it was how it looked like when you're boarding a ferry with a vehicle, if you get what I'm saying. It had some sort of tiny little connection bridge gate thing that was graded or something like that. So graded material is what I mean, graded metal, cage or whatever, that jointed the 2 pieces of asphalt together. So, we drove onto the roundabout, we start going in circles, Dad misses his turn, and I feel this is a little bit sketchy. This feels a little too dangerous. It feels like something Dad wouldn't do on the road, but he did it in my dream anyway. And then, as we're turning on the curve a little too fast, the wheel slips, the right side of the truck slips, and the underside of the truck just catches us from falling thousands of feet to the ground, and Tori screams a little bit. She goes ah! Or something. Not exactly like that, but she screamed, and out loud, while me and my dad scrum on the inside, because we're braver like that. So, we were in the truck, it was tilted a little bit, and my dad was figuring out how he can get out before the truck would fully tip over and fall thousands of feet down there. Now, me telling you this, it doesn't sound so scary now, but when you're in the dream, it's a different story. So, we're in the truck, my dad gets out, which I think is a stupid idea, because he's not obese, he weighs a lot, I say that. He's fine for his size, but he's not queso size or anything like that. But he is he's slightly obese, but not problematically. So, he's normal obese, maybe slightly less. So he gets out the truck, and I think that's a stupid idea, because his weight is the thing that's keeping us on this side. So if he gets out, we're just gonna slip and fall. And Tori is on the other side. She's a little bit more obese than my dad, so her weight, it would tip the truck right over. So I was originally on this side of the truck in the back seat, and my dad got out. Tori is here, so I shifted seats to here, so it would just barely stay on. And the roundabout was here, and we're thousands of feet in the air right now, and you can see the tops of skyscrapers all around us. thousands of feet skyscrapers, like Burj Khalifa height skyscrapers. They're like massive facility size too. They're not thin. They're thick. They're block thick around all the edges, like the background and all that. So I don't really remember much else what happened, but I know me and Dad got out, and I think I woke up right as the truck started slipping with Tori still inside, and if I were still asleep, I think I would have seen Tori fall off the edge. I'm kind of concerned about what that means. So, yeah, moving on. And, like, the whole dream, it felt sketchy. Like, if you were there in the dream, like, the environment wouldn't feel right. It feels too dangerous to exist. But it feels so real at the same time. Alright, this is my last dream, and then after this I'll talk a little bit about some of the, like, how I see my dreams as the outro. So, this dream is also kind of short, but it lasted a pretty decent time, and it's one of my most memorable ones, and I would say it just barely classes as a nightmare in my opinion, but not so much. You'll see why. So, it opens up like this. I'm walking down this, like, medieval-looking, like, a dirt path in the middle of like, the forest. It's a full moonlight. It's a forest of, oak trees. So, like, there's, like, branches, like, overhanging, like, to resemble, like, it was basically like a tree tunnel, but there was, like, gaps in the tree leaves here and there to reveal the full moon and all that. Some clearings and stuff like that. It wasn't an extremely dense oak forest. It was like your average fantasy forest trailway. So I'm walking down it. Like, imagine, like, some of the routes in, like, Lord of the Rings in the first movie or whatever. Imagine that. So I'm walking down one of those, and then I look off to my left. For some reason, there's, like, a very, like, I noticed, like, there's a white painted old colonial house just in the tree line on my left. So out of curiosity, I go off the path and into the ditch that is on the side of any path or road. It was like a small ditch, and then up this tiny little step uphill. Like if this were the height of me, this would be the height of the ditch. It's like a knee-height sized ditch, so I'll probably dip down like this, up again, no problem. So I get up to the back side of the house, and then my body floats up to the attic window of the building, and the window is unique. It's like an octagon-shaped window, but there's no glass, and it's just blinds. Like, there's no real barrier. Imagine like a wooden, like a fence that's just bars going like this of wood. That's basically all it was, but in an octagon shape. And it had like the framing around it. And the color of it was a darker gray, while the entire house was white painted. It looked like a normal colonial house where I look in the cracks and I see a little girl, well, not a little girl, it was like a teenage girl around my age, reading like a diary or something like that. She was like writing a diary or reading a book, I don't fucking know. I float back down, I go back on the path and start marching again, but as soon as I continue strolling down the path, I suddenly, for some goddamn reason, no one in the dream told me this, but my mind put in an intense, like, thought in my head that was like, that made me feel like, oh, if I don't do this now, it's gonna happen 100% certain. So, I pause, and I am told myself in the head, if I continue walking, a creepy, whispering voice will sound in my ears for the whole travel I'm going. I didn't want to be creeped out by that, so I turned around and I left. And as soon as I turned around, I was suddenly in a parking lot of it was like the middle of the night. It was like the outside of one of those like apartments that are like shaped like houses. My mom used to live in one of those. Mom, if you're watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It looks exactly like your parking lot of that area you used to be in. So there was this dumpster. It was in the same position as it was in the place Mom lived in. And then I would go to it, right? I look to my right, and so I'm like standing at the garbage dumpster that's like in the corner ways away from all the houses that are way over there. I'm across the parking lot. It's a fairly sized parking lot, not massive, but probably about the size of half a Target parking lot or half a Walmart parking lot. So I'm and there's a thick tree line. It's like where I live, okay? Now it is, at least, not like the past, earlier in the dream. Now it's like a thick, like, pine wood, like, trees everywhere. So, I'm standing at the corner of the asphalt, like the absolute corner. There's a dumpster, on the asphalt. I don't know why I was going to a dumpster, just some random dream thing. I looked to my right, into the tree forest, like the tree line, and just barely was hiding within the tree line. Well, not hiding, it was pretty visible. Was like this like ghoul lady, like this like a lady that looked like she was like a creepypasta from 2013. She looked all like smushed out, like she was painted in an art piece or something like that, like by like Van Gogh or Da Vinci or something like that. And she was walking her demented looking dog that looked pretty fucked up, like a zombified dog. It was a zombie lady ghoul walking her dog. And then I turned back to the dumpster, and I looked back at her, and I see that she suddenly turned into a normal human being, but with a cat head for her actual head. Not like a fursuit head, but like an actual yellow cat head. And the same for the dog, who suddenly turned into her twin brother, who also had the same kind of cat head. They wore normal clothes, they had normal human arms and all shit like that, normal legs, fucking whatever. And the only thing different about them, the only anthropomorphic thing about them, was their feral cat heads. So then they start walking to me from around like maybe like 15 feet away from me, start perimetering the corner of the parking lot, like in the forest, and they start coming up like this, and then they come closer to me, and there's this tiny like little wooden walkway bridge that you use to get over like a pipeline ditches that you see in your neighborhood. I'm sure you're familiar with those. A lot of neighborhoods have those, I think. And that was, and I was like standing on it, and okay, so the asphalt was here, the edge of the asphalt, the little bridge thing that goes over the tiny ditch where like sewage water goes, and then the dumpster on the grass. So I was standing on that bridge platform thing, and I see them coming from behind the dumpster, and they stare at me. And the brother, he takes action. He starts marching up to me, and then he pulls out a pocket knife-sized scythe. Like, it looks badass, I'll say that. Like, it was like the handle. Then you got your metal stick thing here, and then the little thingy, it just came out like this, like a switchblade, like a fucking switchblade. It was a switch scythe. That's what it was. It was like a little, and then he was coming at me, and then I tried to back off, and then I started trying to running. And then that iconic thing where you can't escape the bad guy in a dream, and you get fear as you're not running fast enough to escape the bad guy, thing happens. But I had something different that most people don't stay around in their dream for. I see what happens after he kills me. So, I was running at like probably like no more than 2 miles an hour. I was like running like probably like actually like this speed. And then this guy was probably going the same speed as me, but still caught up to me anyway. And I was running, I was on that bridge platform thing with the little goalie thing down here. I ran onto the asphalt in the parking lot, start running. The cat dude is right behind me. And then he scythes me from behind. Like, but I didn't feel any pain. I knew I was cut only because my vision went red like you dying in a video game. And then I exit my body and I see myself laying there, like as if I'm in spectator mode or something like that after I died in an FPS game. And I'm like in a penalty before I respawn in like 5 seconds. So then I respawn in my body, I come back up, and then I tell myself, wait a minute, if I can survive this, I wonder if anyone has ever tried and see what happens if you run after the person chasing you in your dream. So at this point, I was already certain I was dreaming. So I start running or like power walking up to the guy who just killed me, and then he starts backing off. They flee into the woods, never to be seen again. I wake up. Pretty good ending, isn't it? I faced my nightmare's creature in the face, and I won. So yeah, if you ever get into that scenario of a dream where you are aware of it, aka lucid dreaming, and there's a bad guy chasing you or something like that, a monster chasing you or whatever, chase it back. If you don't want it to get you. Like, if you don't want it to get you, if it's running right at you, run right at it. Because then it'll see you as a challenge and it'll back off. Because if you have the confidence to not see that thing chasing you as a threat, then it won't keep chasing you because that's how your brain works. And then it'll back off and just disappear or something like that. So if you're the one chasing the thing that's threatening you, then you'll win. That's what I learned from dreaming. So, yeah. Oh, and also, it wouldn't be this video if I didn't talk about the first ever dream I ever had. Okay, the first ever dream I think I ever had was probably a nightmare. And it was, I'm not sure if I was even asleep. I was probably like half asleep or like autistically high or something like that. So I was like probably no more than like 2 years old, maybe 3. So my mom was holding me in her arms. We were like in the dining room, and then suddenly, for some weird, it was like in the middle of the night. She was carrying me like this. I was in her arms. I was like, ooh, or something like that. And then is the video still running? Yes, it is. Thank fucking God. Oh, 15 minutes left. That's excellent. So I was in her arms, and then I was just chilling there like a leaf. And then suddenly, out of fucking nowhere, my vision cuts to the bottom side of an apple, like the apple's asshole, fluttering around my vision violently, and all in the meanwhile, a slurping noise can be heard very loudly in my ears, like... And then I woke up from that paralysis thing, or that random vision I had. I'm not even sure if I was asleep. I was probably just having, like, my first ever daydream. And then I was crying. That's the next thing I knew, I was crying. Sorry. It's hard to breathe in this thing. Next thing I knew, I was crying, and my dad came into the room, and he was trying to see what's wrong with me. And that's basically it. I don't know why that happened. I probably was asleep, I'm not sure. I had a lot of incidences when out involving like dreams and stuff like that. Like there's been times in my childhood, a lot of times actually, where I had like where I felt like, what's the right word for it? I felt like I was being catfished by my own mind. Like, I felt like I have memories of my far past childhood that were trippy. Like, the environment starts changing and stuff like that. But what if that was real? What if some of those did actually happen and I just have a poor memory? You know what I mean? Especially in my youthhood, like my far youthhood, like before I was even like 7 years old. I remember another time, I remember, like, this may have been a dream, but I'm not sure, because this dream was like so realistic and made so much sense that I would like if be convinced either way what it was. So when I was a wee old lass, I was like 5 or 6, and I was sleeping in my bed with my mom, because that's how I slept. That was comfortable, and then like I started to drift off to sleep, and then I opened my eyes again, and it was the same exact position I was in. Like I'm still in my sleeping position. My mom is dead asleep, but I see the wall of the back side of my room, like where the window is. There's like a window on the left, and then the window in front of me. The window in front of me was gone. It was just the wall, and it was like a weird like graph-looking thing written on the wall or something like that, like stocks or something like that. And I was confused. And then I walk up to it, and then it felt weird. It felt like the wall was getting farther away from me and increasing in size the closer to the edge of the bed I got. And then it shrinks again, and it's right here in my face when I'm not moving. I turn around and see my mom, and she's like a mile away, and the bed is like this long. Like, when it comes to types of dreams that have that kind of thing in it, I am not sure if that is simply, I'm wide awake, and and there's something actually messed up with my mind, or if that is a dream that, so happened to be in the same environment I fell asleep at, making it convincing that's actually happening. It could be either or. If you told me it was either or, I would instantly believe you. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for the dreams. Thank you so much for watching. I think I had some of the most on-crack dreams ever. There's definitely some more dreams I have, but the ones I just talked about were the ones I could talk about on the top of my head right now. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. And yeah, I'm sweaty as fuck, man. Sorry I ruined your childhood by taking off your favorite mascot character's head, but I had to do it because, you know, I want to show both characters in a single fucking video, you know what I mean? Let me put this motherfucker back where she came from. Fuck. I'm not sure if you can see that. I feel sweaty. Alright, have a good one, everyone. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time. I was gonna say something really inappropriate, but I realized that there might be minors watching, so whatever, bye.